Today marks day 46 of the police search effort in Pennsylvania for the man who allegedly murdered one of their own.
NBC's Kristen Dahlgren is in Blooming Grove Township in Pennsylvania, and she has a look at the new tool police are using to help find the fugitive.
We are now waiting for results of a DNA test to see if blood found in somebody's backyard could be Eric Freens. This has now been going on for 46 days, but this morning some are hopeful that maybe that new lead or perhaps some new technology could finally put an end to this.
This is the newest police weapon in the search for suspected cop killer Eric Freens. An experimental device similar to a weather balloon, outfitted with cameras designed for both day and night to search the dense woods where the survivalist is believed to be hiding. The blimp is silent and comparatively inexpensive in a massive police effort that's currently costing an estimated $1 million per week. Despite promising finds by police early in the manhunt, 7 weeks of hunting have yet to turn up the man who authorities say ambushed and killed State Trooper Brian Dixon on September 12th.
Eric Freens is now on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, and as you can imagine, people here say they're not going to rest easy until he is finally caught. They've actually, in some towns around here, canceled Halloween for this week, too worried about having kids running around near the woods here. In Blooming Grove, Pennsylvania, I'm Kristen Dahlgren, NBC News, reporting for the Weather Channel.
And here is that forecast for the Poconos area of eastern Pennsylvania. You're looking at some showers on Wednesday, temperatures in the mid-50s, but then drier weather for that manhunt there, temperatures in the upper 40s, and then it looks like our next chance for rain on Saturday.
And it looks dangerously cold this weekend as well.
Yes, exactly. Well, time now for our top 5 videos of the day. We got some pretty cool ones actually to check out today.
We do, and we go overseas for number 5 to Greece. Look there on the horizon. It looks like this video's been sped up too.
Yeah, you see the water spout way out there, not really bothering anybody. I don't see any boats near it, but certainly a water spout, just a tornado over the water, and this is just off the coast of Greece.
And last week in New Mexico, gorgeous scene there. It looks like Virgo, where the rain, at least some of it's making it to the ground. Looks like some of it's being evaporated before it reaches the ground, but also some pretty cool lightning here. This is on the drive west on I-40 to Albuquerque.
It is like a curtain though, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Stage effect there. Number 3, we're taking out to the Pacific Northwest where the Oregon coast hammered by a storm system. We're talking winds gusting to 70 miles per hour, and you can see it kicking up the foam out there too.
And we understand some of the mounds of wind-whipped foam were about 2 feet deep.
Wow.
Ooh, that's windy.
Yeah, this is windy too. Check this out. Number 2, strong winds swirling around the Madeira Airport in Portugal.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that looks pretty scary. I can't believe he continued on with this landing. I thought for sure, abort, right? But this pilot knew what he was doing. He was confident, made it down very safe. But yeah, that was pretty scary.
You see the white caps on the water too. And this is also something pretty scary, but in a different fashion, a slow-moving fashion. The lava in Pahoa, Hawaii, slowly creeping towards some homes.
Yeah, we've been following this here on the Weather Channel and on weather.com as well. Well, as we've seen with this lava flow, Hawaii can be paradise, but it can also be like a ticking time bomb.
And you can see more during Lava Chasers, an original program tonight at 8 right here on the Weather Channel. Have a look.
Hawaii is all volcanic. A lot of people arrive at the airport and say, "Where's the volcano?" and not realizing that they're standing on one. You cannot live on this island without understanding that you're living on active volcanoes. You need to take all aspects of volcanism. There are many good ones as well as some less desirable ones, but that's all part of living in Hawaii.
It's kind of mesmerizing. And you're watching the beauty, but yet you understand that if you get any closer, that beauty then becomes a beast. It'll swallow you up. So you got that death and destruction mode, but yet, as it hits the sea and it forms new land, you got new life, new birth.
It really is fascinating. See what it's actually like to live on top of a volcano. That's tonight on Lava Chasers, beginning at 8 Eastern, right here on the Weather Channel.
Tropical Storm Hannah has come and gone, and now we are keeping an eye on the Eastern Pacific.
Tropical update coming up next.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
This was a good idea. Shh, I'm being quiet. Breathing.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Listen to that!
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, low 71, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Seatbelts, headrests, and airbags help you survive a crash. But if you upgrade your headlights, you may even avoid one. See farther, wider, better. Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis like me, and you're talking to your rheumatologist about a biologic, this is Humira. This is Humira helping to relieve my pain and protect my joints from further damage. This is Humira giving me new perspective. Doctors have been prescribing Humira for 10 years. Humira works for many adults. It targets and helps to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to RA symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Talk to your doctor and visit Humira.com. This is Humira at Work.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Instead of mailing everyone my vacation photos, I'm saving a ton of time by posting them to my wall.
Ooh, I like that one.
It's so quick. It's just like my car insurance. I save 15% in just 15 minutes.
I saved more than that in half the time.
I'd unfriend you.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
15 minutes for a quote isn't how it works anymore. With Esurance, 7.5 minutes could save you on car insurance. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
We're in your community now. Call 800-750-6929 today.
3 nights of weather. You shouldn't watch alone.
What was that?
Our Halloween marathon, Wicked in the Weather, starting tomorrow at 8 on the Weather Channel.
All right, 53 past. Welcome back to the lab. I'm hurricane specialist Michael Laurie with the latest on what's happening in the tropics. And you'll never believe this. It's the ghost of tropical storms past here in the Caribbean Sea. This was Tropical Storm Hanna. It moved in over parts of Honduras and Nicaragua yesterday, and now that area of low pressure has come back into the Western Caribbean Sea, and the Hurricane Center is saying, well, it may try to redevelop. 20% chance of it becoming a tropical depression or a storm. Yet again, it would be named Hanna if it did regain tropical storm status, but it's got a ways to go. It's a broad area of low pressure at this point and not much thunderstorm activity to it. And it will be moving in over Central America tomorrow. So a very small window here, about 24 hours. But really interesting system because it was one that tracked in to the Yucatan Peninsula as a tropical depression, kind of moved over there, dissipated, reemerged over the Caribbean yesterday, became a tropical storm, and now back over the Caribbean Sea. This is a storm that just won't let go. All right, we have another invest here in the central Atlantic, and the Hurricane Center thinking this one, though, has a medium chance of development. It's a tropical wave. It's a wave in the atmosphere, so you can kind of follow the winds at about 10,000 feet. They ripple, sort of resembling an ocean wave, but in this case, we're up here in the atmosphere. Now, the winds, though, at the upper part of the atmosphere, say 30 or 40,000 feet up, are going in the opposite direction from south to north. And so these winds are kind of opposing each other, and they act as like garden shears on a hedge, and it just chops off the tops of these thunderstorms as they try to bubble up into the atmosphere. So the conditions right now aren't all that favorable for this system to get going. But let's turn to our water vapor picture. I was talking about this really all day long. There's been a spin in the atmosphere to the west of it at the upper part of the atmosphere. That's what's sort of imparting this hostile wind shear on it. This is beginning to weaken. You can see that. You're not seeing as many of the orange and the sort of gold colors there over Puerto Rico. This is backing away from the system. So as it does so, the upper winds are going to relax a little bit, which will give this a brief window to try to form, to try to develop. But look off to its west. You see this big dip in the red colors. That is not only dry air, but that is very strong winds. There's a dip in the jet stream, and that's going to prevent this from getting very far to the west. In fact, even if that were to lift out, there's another one to the west of that that's coming over part of the United States. This is sort of a reinforcing shot, and it's going to help to deflect this off and away from us. So even if it does develop, not going to be a threat to the United States, more than likely just going to turn out into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, I want to talk about this streak. We're getting near the end of the hurricane season here. We only got a month left, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can keep things quiet for the remainder of the hurricane season. But since 2005, there have been no hurricane landfalls in 9 years. That's 9 years. It's an incredible streak. The previous record was only 5 years. That's just one of those things. In Florida, I mean, on average, you get 1 to 2 hurricane, or you get a hurricane landfall every other year. We also haven't had any major, in other words, any that are Category 3 or stronger hurricane landfalls in this country since 2005. And down there in South Florida, I used to live down here, there has been a population boom since 2005. If you look at all of the counties there that comprise the Southeast Florida area, Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, almost 500,000 additional people that live now down there that didn't in 2005. So that's a lot of people that probably don't know a heck of a lot about what a Category 3 hurricane can do to the coastline. Kind of a scary statistic there, but thankfully, I mean, it's a good record to have, and hopefully we can continue that through the hurricane season and into next hurricane season. Let's talk really quickly about what else is happening on the Atlantic side. We have this invest down here off the coast of Mexico. The Hurricane Center giving this almost 100% chance of development, though it will be moving toward the west and away from land, at least initially. Here's that 100%. They've been saying this all day, just waiting for the observations. We just don't have those to confirm whether or not this is actually a tropical depression or a named storm. Let's show you where those computer models take this. The spaghetti plots going initially off to the west, but look at this at the very end, Kelly, bending back toward Mexico. This could be a threat there come the middle part of next week, but thankfully plenty of time to watch this. Back to you.
And I know you will watch it, Michael. Thank you so much. Fire and ice. We are following 2 major stories tonight that continue to unfold.
That from a slow motion disaster on the Big Island of Hawaii. Molten lava has now burned one wooden structure in the town of Pahoa.
And from 2,000-degree lava to a possible snowy trick-or-treat for parts of the country. We'll let you know who might be needing their winter coats next.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We knew the day was coming, and we were hoping for good weather, but we couldn't have asked for anything nicer than this, that's for sure. And yeah, with trick-or-treating coming up on Friday, something tells me we're going to be out in winter coats, and yeah, a whole lot different than today.
He is right. Summer-like temperatures right now in D.C., but by Friday, your little ones might have to cover up those adorable, spooky little costumes as a touch of winter arrives just in time for Halloween. From the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Weather Center Live. Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Chris Warren. A closer look at the cold on the way in just a few minutes.
But first, we begin tonight in Hawaii. The latest information shows that lava has claimed a wooden structure on the outskirts of Pahoa. The flow that's been on the move since June is only about 70 yards from a house on the edge of town. It's moving at about 5 to 10 yards per hour, so pretty slow, but people have to be ready to evacuate. We are taking you to the island in just minutes to put the situation in a better perspective for you.
But first, we check in with our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. He's tracking the possibility of storms tonight. Dr. Forbes.
And certainly there are still some thunderstorms out there, but not very much in the way of a severe threat at this point. Now, that sort of defies one of the misconceptions that we have that strong fronts like this mean severe weather. The so-called clash horizontally of the warm and cold air masses. It doesn't work quite that way most of the time. I'll talk more about that. But for now, here is that cold front in blue. There are some showers, diminishing number of thunderstorms in that yellow and red out ahead of that. And here is the front temperature-wise. It's gotten warmer than that today. It's beginning to cool down a little bit, but up into the mid-70s, western New York State, western Pennsylvania. Look how it's cooler, though, in the 40s back in the Twin Cities area. The front is not extremely sharp, but it does have a big temperature contrast along that. And it's the moisture usually, though, that's more important than the temperature. Usually every degree of moisture is about the equivalent of 2 degrees of temperature. So we haven't had that moisture today. I've taken the red all out. We will have a few spotty thunderstorms upstate New York, down maybe along the front into northeast parts of Texas, but probably not much in the way of a severe threat. And why not? Well, here's the other factor that does make an importance on whether fronts will have severe weather. Cold pocket aloft. Spinning counterclockwise here. If it were charging east into that warm air in Pennsylvania, you would get severe weather, but it's not. It's staying back. The other thing makes for low-level winds that makes for severe weather. Today, that low-level jet at 5,000 feet is about 35 miles per hour. If it were 70, like we sometimes get, we'd have more severe. Some showers, occasional lightning. The lightning's diminishing south of Akron, heading toward the Youngstown, Ohio area. Other thunderstorms, northeast parts of Kentucky, southeast parts of Ohio, and they're diminishing in Mississippi. And I think tomorrow we'll get that front all the way through New England and down into the southeast with, again, these marginal situations that probably will not give us much, if any, severe weather. So in mid-October, we had a front that came through weaker than this, over 40 tornadoes. This time, probably not one. Now, behind the front, things could get interesting. Let's talk to Jim Cantori about that.
Yeah, can you believe we're talking about snow already? But this is about the time of the year. I mean, think about it. You go back to Halloweens of the past, and you think, wow, let's see. Yeah, Sandy was around Halloween, the perfect storm. We had the big snowstorm in Buffalo, right? So, yeah, plenty of stuff to talk about around Halloween. We know there's a big shot of cold air that's going to be coming south. That's one of the knowns here. The details are still sketchy. sketchy to us because we have the American and European model, which are, showing us quite a difference in how they come out with the solution at the end of the day. But here it is, cold air on the way. We will all feel this all the way where it's been so beautiful over the past several days, and there are still, remember, so many leaves on the trees in this region and through here. So remember that. That may be a key player in what we may see, certainly with snow, because snow on leaves and tree branches doesn't do us too good. All right, so by Saturday, it's over. I mean, we're down to the 40s, but not awful. Not terribly bad where we can't even stand it. So we can take that. So let's follow these two models in this disturbance, which is just now on the outskirts of the satellite. So you can see a little piece of it, but we know it's there. This is the disturbance that's going to change everything. So here's what it looks like in the upper air. We call these short waves. So let's watch this short wave in its vertical motion. This is where the maximum rising air motion is within that short wave. Let's watch that move south in the flow or in the pattern across the Hudson Bay, across the Great Lakes. Friday could be interesting around Chicago. Big trough carves out all the way down through North and South Carolina, then off the coast. And when we see a pattern like this, where you're going to see surface cyclogenesis is on the east side of that trough, always. That's basic meteorology. We know that's going to happen. The big question is, where's that low going to be? Is it going to be way out here, or is it going to be farther off to the west as it passes to north? Because that will make all the difference in the world in what we wind up with potentially in some areas. But I think the upper air low itself is cold enough to produce a swath of snow, especially for the higher elevations and within the depths of the cold air itself. So we have to look at those features as well. Here's a look again at that European model, cold air charging south. Forbes mentioned the chance for some thunderstorms tomorrow, even into Boston, believe it or not. And here goes the European showing us a low almost near the benchmark. Now, even though this is green, remember, it's going to be snow, especially in the higher elevations. So probably back in through here with the upper air support or the trough, we will have snow. But this will be all rain, we think, in Boston and New York on Sunday morning. Potentially, guys, ending as a little bit of snow as this thing pulls on out. Again, the Europeans a little bit more bullish on the snow right now, but the GFS says, not really. We'll look at the higher elevations and maybe the Great Lakes for the snow, and that's about it. Either way, turning colder. We know that. Back to you.
We do know that, Jim. Yeah. Thanks so much. Washington, D.C., you had a warm day today. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Your average high, 65 degrees. The question is, will the kiddos need to put on the winter coat over their Halloween costume when they go trick-or-treating this Friday? Well, some of you may not just need a winter coat, but a raincoat too. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of wet weather that's going to creep into places like Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, right on down towards Cincinnati and Louisville as well. Otherwise dry across the Atlanta area, Birmingham, right on back towards Dallas. It's going to be beautiful for trick-or-treating. It's on a Friday evening this year. A lot of parties going on as well. Not only that, we get to change our clocks back 1 hour Saturday night before you go to bed, and you get that extra hour of sleep Sunday morning. But you'll see that Friday, here's that cold front. We got the showers moving on in, Syracuse to Pittsburgh. Otherwise staying dry from New York City on up towards Boston, Burlington as well. Definitely layer up. That's really the thing to do. If you've got a costume, maybe add some long sleeves underneath the costume as those temperatures drop on down, because these are your high temperatures on Friday. So once you lose the sun, Atlanta, your temperatures do fall back into the 50s and 40s by the end of the night. Here's a look at the Midwest. We got a little bit of blue and pink showing up on the map here in northern Michigan. That's wintry precipitation, some snow or a mix of rain and snow for some of you. And then we've got the wet weather from Seattle right on down towards San Francisco. So maybe your costumes will have to be outfitted with an umbrella as well. We've got dry weather though from Billings to Denver, right on down towards Albuquerque. Stay with us, much more on the hot lava flow in Hawaii.
If you have Medicare Part D, you could be at the corner of, I'm throwing away money, and I had no idea. Well, Walgreens has your back. Our expert pharmacists make it easy for you to save on your prescriptions, so you can keep your money where it belongs. Swing by Walgreens, where you could save even more with Medicare prescription copays as low as $0. At the corner of happy and healthy.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Did you know? Fresh Step Extreme Lightweight Litter isn't just light. It's also the best lightweight for eliminating odors. Amazing, right? For guaranteed odor elimination, try Fresh Step Extreme. Lightweight.
It's just freaking me out.
If you missed this Sunday night on the Weather Channel,
this is crazy.
You'll never know how twisted weather can be.
Is it real? Yeah, it's real.
Wicked Weather Sundays with strangest weather on Earth and American Supernatural. Every Sunday night at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel. Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis.
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building. Turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Hi. Are we still on for tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Quick look at the weather. Nice today, beautiful tomorrow.
Tomorrow is full of promise.
We can come back tomorrow.
And we promise to keep it that way. Driven to preserve the environment, CSX moves a ton of freight nearly 450 miles on 1 gallon of fuel.
What a day.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
Right now, you're looking at scorched earth from dangerous, extremely hot lava flowing on the Big Island of Hawaii. The flow is threatening dozens of homes and prompting evacuations in the Pahoa village. We've learned now that one structure has already burned down, a wooden structure. Right now, though, the lava is about 500 yards from Pahoa Village Road, and it's moving northeast and has entered a private residential property. And just to give you some perspective, this lava flow began moving towards the village back on June 27th, so they've had some notice, but really there's only so much you can do when you've got a lava flow that's headed for you. We want to take a closer look at where this is happening over the Big Island of Hawaii.
And it's on the southern, sort of southeastern portion of the Big Island. The lava is traveling to the northeast near that small town of Pahoa.
And here's Pu'o'o, and this is where we've actually had a lot of destructive lava in the past. Back in the 1990s, about 200 homes were burned, and we're following that lava flow in the East Rift Zone as it travels toward the northeast, and it's been going northeast for the past 2 years. Previous to that, though, it had actually been going south toward the ocean, and you can actually see the darker images on this Google Earth map. That actually shows where the lava made its way all the way into the ocean.
That's right, and you can see again that path sort of meandering through the grass and the woodlands there near Pahoa.
And again, we've had, unfortunately, evacuations taking place. The lava usually flowing in the opposite direction this way, but because it is going this way, it's going into a more populated area.
That's right, and now some of these neighborhoods are being threatened. We saw some of the lava going over a cemetery, and within the last 30 minutes, we did learn that a wooden structure has burned.
That's right. So this is something we've been following because there's only so much you can do to kind of divert the path. I've seen them putting concrete around some of the utility poles to try to save them from being caught up in the hot lava, but it has already crossed a road, torching some fences, and even got into a cemetery.
That's right, and you can see just this thick lava moving through, and here it looks like it's where it's cooled off and where it's also burning a different vegetation.
So this slow-moving disaster has entire neighborhoods on alert.
That's right. Some are already evacuating while some families are attempting to try to divert that lava away from their properties. NBC's Hallie Jackson explains.
You can hear it burning, crackling, methane explosions on the lava's leading edge, shaking the ground underneath. The red-hot river, wider than a football field, closing in on the town of Pahoa. Moving slow in fits and starts, it's still melting hundreds of yards over the last 24 hours.
Up until now, there's always been hope that it would stop, it would change direction, but the minute it affects the first structure or home, this is real.
The Lees know it's real. Their home could be next.
Where's the lava flow from here?
Right over there. So that's where we went. The lava just past the tree line near property that's been in this family 5 generations. In the backyard, a bulldozer building a berm.
What's it for?
To help maybe divert the lava around and go downhill.
Do you think it'll work?
It might. We're hoping.
For weeks, this flow has been making its way toward Pahoa after a volcanic eruption in June. But the lava only recently crossed a local road and then a cemetery on the edge of town. A reality check for people here, some already packing up and leaving.
It could eventually get the whole town of Pahoa.
You deal with so much different types of stress, you know, with this whole lava situation, yeah? And first of all, it's actually now coming to take your home that you worked so hard for all these years. We don't know what we're gonna do, but we just take it day by day.
And as you just heard, there are a lot of ways their residents are being affected by the lava as it nears their homes.
And we continue that conversation next with a closer look at the controversial decision by some to try and divert that flow. Plus, a named storm, Hannah, came in and went in the tropics yesterday.
What are we seeing right now? We'll let you know in the Tropical Update next.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Ring, ring. Progresso. I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
There was no question she was the one. She reminds you every day. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment is right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is also the only daily ED tablet approved to treat symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Simply type in a name and follow the Ancestry leaf far into your family's past. A past filled with stories that intrigue and inspire. And in doing so, reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
You have the right to remain silent.
Dun-dun. Nailed it.
And if you can't afford an attorney,
You know I ain't got no shirt to wear.
one of these people will be appointed for you.
The blouse makes it weird.
PCmatic won first place in the Virus Bulletin Rap Test, the most prestigious security competition in the world. PCmatic from the United States outperformed all its foreign competition. This victory is independent, third-party validation that PCmatic is the best at blocking viruses and keeping your computers safe from modern threats like CryptoLocker. At $50 for 5 computers for 1 year, PCmatic is a great value. But PCmatic is much more. PCmatic makes your computers faster and more reliable even after years of use. PCmatic supports Windows XP, keeping it secure and running as good as the day you bought it. PCmatic has a full, no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. And PCmatic is supported by Americans whose first language is English. To get top-rated, world-class security that also keeps your computers running great, go to PCmatic.com. That's PCmatic.com.
Humana now at 1-866-680-4971.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back. The boiling lava from the Kilauea volcano has now crossed the property line of the home closest to the flow in the town of Pahoa on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Dozens of residents are on high alert as they are on standby to evacuate. Joining us now live on the phone, Tanya Lee, a resident of Pahoa. Thank you, Tanya, very much for joining us. And your home is not a concern at this time, we understand, but you have friends whose homes may be affected. What are they doing to prepare?
Okay, great. Yeah, my house is in a subdivision about 2 miles to the south, and luckily the lava turned, so I'm not in position right now. But there is a gentleman whose wife has the same name as mine, Tanya Lee, and the lava is like just coming right at his house, and he built a berm of soil to try to get the lava to not go right over his house. It remains to be seen whether that's going to happen or not. He says he's staying there till the lava is hitting his driveway.
Wow.
But a lot of other people have already left and are staying with people in other areas that are not affected.
Well, Tanya, I really do hope that that berm works. I know some people have been putting concrete things around, like, say, utility poles, things like that. Are you worried that this lava might actually cross Highway 130 and thereby isolating you from the rest of the island?
Yeah, worry is not actually the word I use because I think everyone's assuming it. Do you understand the difference here? We're not upset about it because we pretty much know it's going to happen. And it depends on what the magma in the volcano decides to do, or some people believe that Madame Pele will make changes as we go. So nobody really can say, yes, it's going to cross, because maybe it'll stop. It's not impossible. But what I'm doing is trying to fix my life. So what happens when it crosses? I cannot get out that way. Can I take the alternate road they've built? Can I use it as an opportunity to tutor math and English as a second language below the lava, because those people can't get out easily either. So I'm trying to do that Chinese thing with one of the words in crisis, is opportunity, and try to figure out if there's a way that I can use it to my advantage. But in general, our area is going to be pretty much isolated, and it's only a matter of time probably before the lava crosses the road that they're putting in as a second road when the first one's covered up. And then there's a third road that they're working on in the national park that will go up through the park where the old road before it was covered with lava, but that'll be about a 2-hour drive instead of a half-hour drive into Hilo. So, and it's on a gravel road, which is great on your car. So that's not a real good option, but that's what we'll have.
All right, Pahoa resident Tanya Lee, thank you very much for giving us a perspective of what it's like to live near that lava as it approaches. Right now, it is time for the Tropical Update. Here's Kelly.
And by the way, we'll stay on top of this story as long as it's developing, both here on the Weather Channel and also at weather.com. Some amazing pictures and video. You'll find that over there as well. Now it's time for your tropical update, because even though it is October, the end of October, we can still have things develop this time of the year. Our hurricane season in the Atlantic goes all the way through the end of November. And we do have an invest area not too far from the Virgin Islands. We also have the remnants of what was Tropical Storm Hannah. And then we have an invest area here in the East Pacific, just off the coast of Central America. But speaking of Central America, this area really getting hammered by the moisture from the remnants of Hannah. We're talking about soaking rain, and unfortunately the possibility of flooding exists along the coastline here especially, and also mudslides. You get into some pretty hilly terrain here across Honduras and Guatemala, and we're talking about really an enhancing of the rainfall right along the immediate coastline, anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain, but even inland we're talking as much as 3 to 5 inches of rain from this system. It's got a lot of tropical moisture. Here's a look at another area of disturbed weather that we are following. The National Hurricane Center keeping an eye on this as well. This is Invest 95L. That means it's being investigated for possible development, and right now it has about a 40% chance or medium chance of becoming our next tropical depression or storm. And right now it looks like the best development area takes it to the north of the Virgin Islands, but not too far from the Virgin Islands, and also well to the north of Puerto Rico. So we'll be watching this one over the next couple of days. But right now the computer models basically taking it to the west and then to the north of Puerto Rico, and then also to the east of Bermuda. So we'll be following that in the days to come. And the next name on the list, there you see it, Isaias, and Josephine is the J word. And we'll be right back with more Weather Center Live.
My goal was to finally get in shape. Not to be focusing again on my moderate to severe chronic plaque psoriasis. So I finally made a decision to talk to my dermatologist about Humira. Humira works inside my body to target and help block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to my symptoms. In clinical trials, most adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis saw 75% skin clearance on Humira, and the majority of people were clear or almost clear in just 4 months.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Set a new goal today. Ask your dermatologist about Humira, because with Humira, clear skin is possible.
Apples are good. As Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
When we got married, we became a family of 5.
Without the time and money to wash all this stuff separately.
So we wash it all in cold water with Tide.
Even Sarah's shorts.
Those are mine.
Seriously?
Throw it all in.
Really?
Because Tide cleans better, even in cold.
What's in a can of Del Monte green beans?
If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaves.
Grown in America, picked and packed at the peak of ripeness, with no artificial ingredients. Del Monte, bursting with life.
Dear Mojo and Max, thanks for inspiring me to be as good as you think I am.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. At PetSmart, save up to $5 on select Hills Science Diet and Ideal Balanced pet food. PetSmart.
Fatherhood. Lesson number 1.
Deep sea delight.
Pregnant wives have late-night cravings.
The ice cream, please.
Lesson number 2. Make sure you get her ice cream in a cup with a lid.
That's why you want accident forgiveness from Allstate. It keeps your rates from going up just because of an accident. Plus, when you switch today, you could save up to 10% more on your auto policy.
Just a few more ways. The good hands are doing more than ever before.
Call 866-532-0707 now.
This fall, you've got to watch the Weather Channel mornings.
It will all start with the weather.
The weather's too important to cover in a few minutes.
It's starting to intensify.
Because it's not just about your forecast.
Look at this!
Listen to that!
See the weather like never before. Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather ever caught on camera. Oh my God! Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Up until now, there's always been hope that it would stop, it would change direction. The minute it affects the first structure or home, this is real.
If it crosses the highway, it would cut off a large district of the entire island where there's several thousand people living.
I have my trailers ready, but I'm not putting anything on them until the guy across the street's house is burning.
It's actually now coming to take your home that you worked so hard for all these years. We don't know what we're going to do, but we just take it day by day.
Impressive, amazing, dangerous, just a few words to describe what's happening right now on the big island of Hawaii. I'm Kelly Cass.
And I'm Chris Warren. Also intense, scary, and destructive. Our coverage of what's happening in Paoa, Hawaii continues in just minutes.
But first, we're going to talk about what's going on in the eastern half of the country. We've got quite the cold front that's about to move on in. Atlanta, there's a live look from the top of the Coca-Cola World headquarters where the clouds have rolled in, Chris.
That's right, and we are going to be dealing with some much cooler temperatures on the way as we go back to fall. It is going to be cooling down quite a bit in many spots. We're looking right now live at Atlanta, and even you in Atlanta are going to be feeling that temperature cool down, and a cool down in the big way here. So back to fall in the southeast is what we can expect for you in Atlanta. If we go ahead and take a look at how cool it is right now, and it's not that cool. In fact, it is 73 degrees right now in Atlanta. Many spots in the lower 70s, but it is going to get cooler in the southeast. We're going to feel that cool down, head down to the south. Again, temperatures right now on the warm side, rather pleasant here for late October. 70 degrees in Memphis, lower 80s in New Orleans right now. And we're going to take a look at what's going to happen, what's going to change. Later in the week, cold front drops down. It will bring in some of that cooler air. And we're going to be dealing with highs back around average. So it's been warmer than average. Temperatures are going to be cooling down in the southeast. And for tomorrow, just a little bit cooler in some spots. Down into the upper 60s and lower 70s. See a little bit more yellow on the map here. Now looking a little bit cooler than average by Thursday. Friday, right at average. Upper 60s expected in Atlanta, Nashville, though 8 degrees cooler than average with temperatures into the upper 50s. And then by this weekend, by the morning hours, temperatures are going to be well into the 40s. Saturday morning, temperatures in the 30s. Parts of the south getting around the freezing mark. Better chance for seeing freezing temperatures in Nashville on Sunday morning with an overnight low of 30. Now the big question, could we see our first flakes throughout other parts of the country? Maybe not in the south, but some other spots. For that, let's go to Storm Tracker Jim Cantori.
Yeah, if it snows in the south, Chris, we're all missing something here. Something didn't compute. Here's the deal. I mean, somebody is going to get snow. And I certainly think the Great Lakes are in play. I think the Central Appalachians in elevation are in play. And potentially even the hills of Pennsylvania and Massachusetts and northern New England. So again, you kind of go back to that. It's got to, we got to get to the cold air. So either the atmosphere has to produce it, or we have to get to a level where it is. And this time of year, that usually means elevation, if it can't produce it. So let's talk about this. It's going to be a nice little blast of cold air. I mean, the front that we're dealing with now, really, it's going to cool you down a little bit, but not like this next one that comes through this weekend. This is a true Arctic blast. This is straight CP air, continental polar air coming down from northern Canada. Trust me, this is the one you will feel and remember as the true cold front. Highs 10 to 15 degrees below average. Of course, getting this down into the picture takes energy, and that energy is going to squeeze out the available moisture, and depending on the depth of that cold air, we are going to be talking about some snow. So here you go. Again, notice how much warmer, though, we are. There's Saturday in Boston and New York, 48, 49 degrees. Pittsburgh, 42. So what does that tell you? Here's the cold air dump on the west side. That's where the cold air is going to dump. So that right there tells us that any precipitation that falls, at least initially, especially east of the Appalachians, is more than likely going to be in the form of rain. Now, then the next question is, well, could it change to snow? And the answer to that is yes. And that may happen Sunday as the low pulls away. But there's New York at 45. There's Boston at 40. So I think even for the big cities of the east right now, it would be flakes and flakes only. The cold air is up in the elevation. That's where we see it, and that's where we may certainly get a little bit more than just flakes. So here's the energy that the models are trying to lock in on. And so the models are saying, all right, let me teleconnect this out in time and see where it's going to be. I'm going to give you my best guess where it's going to be in time. So here it is coming down. Notice the time up on top, heading down Wednesday, Thursday, blasting through the Great Lakes. And there'll be a pocket of snow and wet snow underneath that upper air low, especially in the higher elevations and away from the Great Lakes. I mean, remember, you're going to have to be away from those lakes because the lakes are going to influence the air mass. You're going to have to be in elevation in through here. So I think certainly spots could see some snowfall and more persistent snow. But look at where this trough axis is. It's right here. So where's the low pressure going to be? Somewhere out and through here. This already says, even with this European model, that low is going to be pretty far out, even though it does start to swing back a little bit. According to the latest run of the European model, but that's farther east than it was yesterday. And so that may be something that we're going to have to watch trend later on this week. So here's the European model, and granted, notice where the 32 line is at the surface, way back across the higher elevations or way back across the Great Lakes. So certainly if this deepens rapidly and we get some dynamic cooling, we'll get some wet snow mixing in here, but I really don't think this is a big snow situation for the East Coast cities. Here we are, though, on Sunday, below 32 degrees up in Maine and Vermont, New Hampshire. Absolutely could get some snow, accumulating snow there. And there are still leaves on the trees. So that may be something certainly that we will concern ourselves with as we go on in time. Now, that's the European model. The American model does the same thing with the cold air. It dumps it over the Great Lakes. It dumps into the southeast. But look at how much farther east that low is. That makes it tell us that it's not really a big player here in terms of any kind of a snowmaker, Kelly, for the mountains of New England. So really, that's the big question. How close is it going to be to the coast? Model's still not in agreement with that right now. Chris and Kel, back to you.
Timing is everything.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Jim. And Halloween, as we're calling it, can bring some wicked weather for sure, and there are plenty of memorable storms that have happened during this week in history.
I mean, we've seen snow on Halloween, covering up those Halloween decorations. A winter storm hit right after Superstorm Sandy. That was 2 years ago this week.
And if you go back to 1954, coastal North and South Carolina spent Halloween cleaning up after Hurricane Hazel.
So we can have a lot of different things happen toward the end of October, but hopefully no Halloween tricks this year. But I can't promise you it's going to be dry in every area because we do have that front moving on through, as Jim mentioned, and that's going to usher in some of that colder air just in time for the weekend.
Yeah, you're going to see some of that cooler air throughout parts of the upper Midwest. That Wednesday to make it feel a little bit cooler. The Ohio Valley on Friday, that's where you have your best chance for some showers. Also in the Pacific Northwest.
And of course, the really cold air doesn't get here until the weekend, the first weekend of November, by the way. But but eventually with that, you will find some wet weather with that cold front from Syracuse down towards Pittsburgh, but otherwise we're ahead of the front in New York City and Boston. Not too bad. We'll have sunshine during the day, but then it looks like mostly cloudy skies during the night.
And the southeast, about average for this time of year. In the upper 60s in Atlanta and New Orleans, upper 70s, and the rain should be in extreme southern Florida.
And across the Midwest, we're tracking a little bit of wet weather for those of you in Louisville. Sorry about that. Definitely have a waterproof costume there. And even across Michigan, you may actually find some snow coming down on top of your Halloween decorations and wet weather along the West Coast, Chris.
But the Southwest, not looking too bad at all, with temperatures in the 60s and 70s.
All right, whatever you're doing this Halloween, have a safe and happy Halloween. Well, stay with us. We'll have much more on the lava flow that's affecting Hawaii.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the world's longest lasting AA battery in high-tech devices. Up to 6 times longer than the other leading brand.
How did I set a new personal record today? I started with a test run. Then I got a solid night's rest in a great room. And before I hit the road, I hit the breakfast bar, where I got my fuel for the next 26 miles.
Great endings begin here. That's why at Choice Hotels, we give you cozy rooms, free breakfast, and right now when you take 2 separate trips, you earn 1 night free. Book now at choicehotels.com.
These lights alert you to potential trouble. So do these. See farther, wider, better. Upgrade to Silver Star Ultra headlights from Sylvania.
Dear Mojo and Max, thanks for inspiring me to be as good as you think I am.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. At PetSmart, save up to $5 on select Purina Pro Plan dry pet food. PetSmart.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
Come to Boston Market for a full menu of meals featuring our signature rotisserie chicken, starting at just $6.99. And this holiday season, spend more time with family and friends. Let the holiday experts do the cooking. Only at Boston Market.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
For most people, earning cash back ends here at the purchase. But there's a new card in town. Introducing the Citi Double Cash Card. It lets you earn cash back when you buy and again as you pay. That's cash back twice. It's cash back with a side of cash back. The Citi Double Cash Card, the only card that lets you earn cash back twice on every purchase, with 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. With 2 ways to earn, it makes a lot of other cards seem one-sided.
Zantac Heartburn Alert!
Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
My job is so hard on my hands.
The cracks were the worst part.
O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for dry hands that crack and split.
There was a difference within just minutes of it absorbing into my skin.
Only O'Keefe's has given me the relief that I need.
Learn more at workinghands.com.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Hey everyone, we have breaking news happening right now. An unmanned NASA rocket that launched a short time ago from Wallops Island, Virginia, exploded moments after taking off.
Let's take a look at the video as it happened.
And we have liftoff of Antares, the Orbital 3 mission, delivering Cygnus on its third CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
The Antares rocket was on a mission to deliver cargo and experiments to the International Space Station. Again, no one on board this rocket, but this happened just a little while ago, right after liftoff.
They had about 5,000 pounds of supplies on board, and early launch was scrubbed when a sailboat got too close to the launch area, and it was postponed until just minutes ago. And we are expecting a news conference from NASA sometime later that was lifting off and then eventually exploding. NASA officials say the damage appears to be limited to the launch facility, but it does appear to be significant damage. And of course, the rocket you're seeing here destroyed.
Again, it was supposed to be headed up toward the International Space Station, but fortunately no one aboard and no one down the launch pad area injured, as far as we know. Earliest report showing that everybody is okay, but obviously quite the shock, to see something like that happen.
Stay at your consoles. Everyone in the LCC, maintain your positions in your consoles. In the LCC, maintain positions at your console.
And this is the aftermath after the explosion, again, courtesy of NASA. And we are waiting. It should be in a couple hours. We should hear more from NASA. And they tend to have news conferences after an event like this. So we are going to keep you posted on this. But again, just moments ago, the rocket going up to resupply the International Space Station explodes.
All right, that's something we'll certainly be following for you to see what exactly took place there, what happened, what made that happen, actually. But right now it is time for a look at our top 5 videos, and we're talking about sea foam that looks like whipped butter and also a pretty cool looking water spout.
And we start off with that water spout. This in Greece. It looks like the video has been sped up with the water kind of cruising along there, but you see in the distance on the horizon the water spout forming.
Not moving all that quickly, but the water definitely is. All right, check this out. Last week in New Mexico, this thunderstorm captured on the drive west of I-40 to Albuquerque. You can see that curtain of rain not quite reaching the ground. We call that Virga.
And some lightning to go along with it. And here's a look at the Oregon coast, and if you look closely, there's that sea foam that we're talking about, a couple feet deep in some spots, and the wind pushing it around, a little bit of a swirl action going on too.
Winds up to 70 miles per hour along the Oregon coastline. All right, number 2, talk about some strong winds, and have your medication being on a plane like this. This is at Madeira Airport in Portugal last week, where this pilot was certainly challenged, but he met the challenge. He actually landed safely after bobbing in the wind quite a bit there.
That's one of those flights where there's probably some clapping going on.
I know, right? I'd be clapping. I'd be standing
the airplane finally touched down.
All right, just amazing to see that. All right, number 1 takes us back to the United States. Of course, we're following this here on the Weather Channel. Lava in Pahoa, Hawaii. This is on the Big Island. It's creeping towards homes, many evacuating, and you can see from this video the expanse of this lava.
And that's a cemetery right there that's been partially covered by the lava. You can see a closer look at the headstones there.
And they're talking about closing roads because of this. Schools are closing as a result as well. And as we've seen with this lava flow, Hawaii can be paradise, but it can also be a ticking time bomb.
Yes, it can. See more during Lava Chasers. It's an original program tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern right here on the Weather Channel.
Yeah, you can see what it's actually like to live on top of a volcano, and you'll want to stick around for that. But in the meantime, we've got to look at what's going on in the tropics.
Storm tracker Jim Cantori will be along with a tropical update coming up in just a few minutes. And this happening just moments ago. The rocket explodes on takeoff.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Alaska. There's only one place you can stand on top of the world, experience nature on its own terms, and create a little wildlife of your own. Dance to a different drummer and do something you've never done before. Then just when you thought you'd seen it all, you realize it's only Tuesday. Begin your adventure at AlaskaBeyondYourDreams.com.
Sunday nights. When the wind blows. The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Sunday nights at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 81. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander. For a cleaner, healthier home. Certified. It's our new standard of clean. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Stanley Steamer goes beyond carpet cleaning. Call 1-800-STEAMER.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
Started my Camry. To her wedding. Did not forever hold my peace.
The bold new Camry. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Want to watch all your live TV channels on any device in your home?
With Xfinity, every channel that's on your TV is on your tablet, anywhere in your house.
Oh my gosh.
You can do this on your phone also.
You can do it on your phone, you can do it on a tablet. You can watch all your live TV on any mobile device.
Ooh, that's exciting.
You wouldn't have to argue ever again.
That is a great idea.
With live TV on every device in your home, everyone gets to watch what they want. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play today and save when you bundle. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Mary Lynn Magar, a champion for our small businesses and our economy. Magar led the effort to pass a manufacturing tax break to create clean, high-wage jobs. And Magar fought to rein in spending and cut taxes and fees by over $500 million, so our seniors and working families could save more of the money they earn. No wonder then that Mary Lynn Magar has been endorsed by the Florida Chamber of Commerce. Mary Lynn Magar, real leadership getting results.
656. Or go to HumanaBigBook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
Every Monday night this fall.
What is it that produces these things?
The Weather Channel unlocks the secrets of the Earth. The all-new season continues Monday night at 9 on the Weather Channel.
53 minutes past the top of the hour. Time now for our tropical update. And we'll take you into the Arabian Sea to start things off with. Yeah, Saturday we had a tropical cyclone develop, and this thing is the equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane in our basin. Now remember, we call them tropical cyclones here in this part of the world. So just because it doesn't sound like a major hurricane or a Cat 4 hurricane, it's still kind of the same physics involved and through here. And of course, when you have these real high resolution satellites, this is a VIRS satellite. What we're looking at here, of course, is the inner eye right there, and then it kind of goes up a little bit, and then you get all the deep convection surrounding that. So it's kind of like sitting in a round dome. So, here's the upper deck right here. You're way up out here on the upper deck looking down. Of course, here's the playing field right here known as the eye. So we call that the stadium effect. Just an awesome sight indeed, especially when you have these very well-developed cyclones. This time of the year, the atmosphere giving us a little hint at where this thing is going to eventually go, off toward the north and east. You can kind of see that with the upper anticyclone. Winds at 130 miles per hour. The latest, what I call MRI, or satellite imagery that kind of looks at the inner core of this, doesn't look as great as it did earlier on today. So this storm is getting some dry air. It's maybe starting to weaken a little bit. And that really is the forecast, for it to come down to Cat 3, Cat 1, and then eventually become a weaker tropical storm. But of course, once it goes into either Pakistan or Northwest India here, we're worried about rain, and lots of heavy rain as it gets in. So that'll be the big deal with Nilofer, which is the name of this one. All right, so we got a few things going on closer to home. Invest 95L. This is actually Invest 96L, which is the remnants of Hannah. And we have Invest 93E, which has a 100% chance of developing. And if it does develop, it will be Trudy. And Sarah Dillingham, I got to tell you this right now. About a month and a half ago, she goes, "We're going to get to Vance this year in the Eastern Pacific." I'm like, "Sarah, really?" Yeah. So Vance, by the way, is the next name after Trudy if we get here. All right, moving on. Sarah, how's that for a little love here in the afternoon? All right. Trough of low pressure off to the west. Notice what's happening, though, how it's bending back toward the west, almost creating what we call an anticyclone over the top of this Invest here. This is, again, 95L. 90, I got to get them all straight. So that's allowing for it to breathe, right? So here's your anticyclone. Here are the upper level winds. The center of the cyclone's here. So we've got a little bit of shear on the western side of this, but the conditions are actually getting a little bit more favorable. And once it gets up in this region here, we'll be underneath the anticyclone tomorrow. So it has a small window, maybe 36 to 48 hours to develop here. This is the surface features, and what a difference, right? Aloft, we're sitting here with that big ridge, but at the surface, we've got these easterly winds, as we would expect, and they bend right in through here. So essentially what you've got going on is what we call an open wave. Here's the open wave axis. Here's the convection on the eastern side of the wave. This is kind of the early stages, if you will, of a tropical system. Once we get a low pressure to consolidate east of that wave, then that wave is on its own, and it could potentially develop. Now, the Hurricane Center gives this, at this point, a 40% chance over the next 120 hours and shifts it off toward the northwest, which all the models are pretty much in agreement with this. Now, we'll keep an eye on it because as it moves toward the west. If it does develop in here, once it starts to make the turn, it could come close to Bermuda, even though most of the models keep it off to the east, and it's going to get caught up in that big low pressure system that's going to bring the cold air down in the eastern part of the country. Now, if you remember Hannah over the weekend, one of the things I tweeted out, say good morning to Hannah on Saturday morning. Well, Hannah's come all the way across and back down here. Here's the circulation center with this. So it's still sitting here, but it's pretty close to land, but there are some thunderstorms in and around the center. So here's Hannah's history. Started as an invest, moved its way across the Yucatan, out over the water, back over Honduras, Nicaragua, comes back over the water, heads north. Oh, we got Hannah. It's almost inland at this point, by the way, by the time it was named. And now it's moved its way back out over the water, and it's Invest 96L. Now you're thinking, well, it's got a new Invest number, but does that mean it's going to be Hannah? Yes, because we can trace it. All right, we can trace the fact that it's Hannah. Guys, in case you're wondering why I won't be covering the snow this weekend in the Appalachians or in northern New England, here's why. I will be in Chicago for Skyscraper Live, working for the Discovery Channel. Nick Wallenda, not one walk, but 2 walks at night. The second one blindfolded, and there will be weather. Winds will be out of the south, maybe the southeast, coming off the lake. We'll talk about those impacts and also maybe deal with some snow on Friday morning in Chicago. See you in a minute.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, low 71, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 81, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky, low 67, winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Breaking right now on Weather Center Live, an explosion over the launch pad tonight in Virginia.
3 missions that brings Cygnus on its 3rd CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
The unmanned Antares rocket was trying to lift off from Wallops Island at 8:22 Eastern Time, but as you can see, exploded seconds after the launch. The rocket was going to take 5,000 pounds of supplies to the International Space Station, and NASA does say nobody was hurt in this incident, but there appears to be extensive damage. And right now it is 7 Eastern here on Weather Center Live. I'm Chris One. We're going to watch that story closely, but we're also watching something else. The chance for snow. The chance for snow as we look ahead to Halloween and this weekend. Jim Cantore is going to go in depth on what the models are showing for that possible snow. But first things first. We start with the cool air, the temperature side of the story with Kim, and a look at this right here. What's going to be changing in the time? Kim's going to show us that cold air that's going to come in, but it's hard to talk about cold air when you see 60s and 70s right now. And these temperatures are going to drop because a cold front's going to come down. It's going to sweep all the way down into the southeast. However, it's going to be even colder in the north. Many areas here about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than average. So right now with that, let's go to meteorologist Kim Cunningham. Kim.
Hey, Chris, boy, record highs today. We're going to see temperatures dropping in some parts of the Midwest and the Northeast into the 20s this weekend. It is going to be cold just in time for Halloween for some of you. Cincinnati, though, we're going to start out Friday in the upper 40s. So, yes, trick-or-treating, it's going to be cold. You wake up Saturday and Sunday morning, temperatures will be in the 20s. Now, at least by Sunday, the Bengals are playing at home. It's going to be in the 50s, so good football weather, and it'll be sunny. So at least we got some sunshine coming our way this weekend. And then we do have a warming trend coming our way next week. right, so here's the forecast for us on Halloween. Indianapolis, 45 degrees. That's the high. Trick-or-treating time, it's going to be a little bit colder than that. Indianapolis, 46 on Saturday. These temperatures, again, below the average. St. Louis, below average. Most of the Ohio Valley dealing with this. Cleveland on Sunday, 45 degrees. And we're playing at home as well. And it looks like we're going to see temperatures below the average. Again, good football weather, if you like football. Here in New York, same thing's going to happen, but a day later. We're going to see temperatures here in the 50s on Friday, Saturday, dropping to the 40s. And then by Sunday, we're in the mid-40s and lows in the 30s. Chris.
All right, Kim, thank you very much. So in the lab now is Storm Tracker Jim Cantore. And Jim, dealing with the possibility of snow this week, potentially.
Think about it. You go back to Halloween, and you can get... We've had some pretty historic snowstorm, right around Sandy. That was around Halloween. The perfect storm was around Halloween, way back before some people out there weren't even born. We had a big snow event in Buffalo, pretty close to Halloween too. So it can certainly happen in through here, Chris. I'm not sure why we're sitting here with an airplane on the runway, but let's go back and talk about what we got going on here. All right, so here's the good news is we can see the disturbance on satellite. We can't hear, but some of the offline satellites, I can actually see it. You can see a little bit of a part of this here. So this is what we're asking the models to do is connect this out in time. Teleconnect with this and show us where you're going to go. So this is kind of a look at the upper air pattern. Here's what we call the shortwave. The shortwave's energy on the east side of it. Where does that energy go and how does it evolve, the whole pattern, as we work our way into the weekend? Well, you can see it really digs. As we call it a digging trough. And it carves out a very sharp trough. And of course behind that, as Kim told us about, cold air. All right, big time cold for just about everybody. But there's enough cold air and there's enough energy with this to produce a swath of snow. Right now, my gut tells me the time of the year, you got to have elevation. You got to go and meet that cold air. So we know that's over the Appalachians, right? We know there's going to be enough cold air with the actual upper low itself. So maybe some pockets of snow, maybe some flakes, even into Chicago as we go into Friday. But here we are, Saturday at 6 p.m. Here's this big trough axis. On the eastern side of this is where we're going to find any surface low. We know that. That's basic meteorology. The question is, where does that low go? Does it go out here or does it go up here? And that's where the models start to differ. It's on Saturday. That makes all the difference in the world in what we get on the coastline. And even that said, given the way that the high is going to bend down from the Great Lakes into the southeast, we're probably not going to have enough cold air here. So the storm itself has to produce the cold air. You'll notice the European says, I don't have a lot of cold air there. I'm going to be mostly rain in the big cities. A cold rain, but mostly rain. But look at Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. If I stay that close, I'm going to pull the cold air down at that point. And I'm going to create a big snowstorm and a big wet snowstorm for that part of the world. The GFS, especially the new model that just came out, Chris, same deal with the high pressure. It goes west of the Great Lakes, heads into the deep south with a really cold shot of air. But look at how much farther east the actual low pressure is itself. So now you kind of decouple that cold with the actual low itself, and it's just too far out to sea to really impact anybody. So again, elevations right now would be my best bet, and around the Great Lakes as that upper low drops for the first flakes of the year.
And of course, we'll keep tabs on this story as it evolves closer to the weekend. All right, Jim, thank you very much. Also keeping an eye on the threat for some storms. Let's go to our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, also in the lab for that. Dr. Forbes.
Thanks, Chris. And earlier today, we thought there might be a few damaging wind gusts with this weather system, this cold front coming across. I've taken all that severe threat out. It does, though, address the misconception that strong cold fronts and the clash of the warm and cold air masses should mean severe weather. It doesn't usually work that way, and I'll talk about a little bit why. Here is that cold front. There are some showers and occasional thunder showers from Pennsylvania down into Arkansas with this, but none of them are severe, and with the cooling temperatures now, probably not going to. Earlier today, though, it was very warm. We did have that clash of temperatures. It got well up into the mid-70s, western New York, western Pennsylvania. Look, it's 42 at the Twin Cities. That clash is spread out a little bit. It's not a real sharp clash, and it's really more moisture that's more important than temperatures. You get about twice the impact of moisture that you do from temperatures, and so it has been limited moisture for this. That has held down the severe event. Still, there could be here and there some thunderstorms from upstate New York all the way down the front into northeast parts of Texas this evening. Probably not going to be severe at this point. One of the factors that's missing was the cold pocket aloft has stayed back to the north and west. You can see it spinning there across now into Upper Peninsula, Michigan. If it had charged east and put cold over warm, that is the kind of vertical clashing of the air masses that can give instability and severe thunderstorms. The other is that today, low-level jet about 5,000 feet. It's only been about 35 miles per hour. Sometimes it's 70 ahead of these fronts that make for them to be be severe. So not severe today. You don't necessarily get that severe every time there's a clash of warm and cold air masses. Some thunderstorms around Youngstown and here and there. Probably tomorrow we won't have severe either as the front goes across the northeast to the southeast. Chris?
Thank you, Dr. Forbes. During this hour, we're counting down the top videos of the day. We start with number 5 and the lava in Hawaii, getting closer to the town of Pahoa.
It's Monday, a brand new start with CenturyLink's visionary cloud infrastructure and custom communication solutions. Your business is more reliable, secure, and agile. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Dear Mojo, thanks for inspiring me to be as good as you think I am.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. At PetSmart, save $20 on all large bags of Nutro Natural Choice dog food with mail-in rebate. PetSmart.
We love
chocolatey,
creamy with a little something extra.
deliciousness.
Cookies
Or almonds.
yumminess. Hershey's is mine.
Yours, our chocolate.
Once a year, a phenomenon occurs
Insanity!
that defies explanation
That is distractingly strange.
and is seared in our memory. The wait is over. Halloween on Today.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 82. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8. Coming up next.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Kevin.
Thanks, Melinda.
I have blah blah insurance, so person, come help.
Hey, Grandma. Dad, look who it is.
I see who it is.
6 callers ahead of us, Jimmy.
You're not helping.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. There to help you anytime, anywhere, anyway. That's getting to a better state.
I'm telling you, Walmart ships and delivers millions of items for free.
Free?
Who knew, right?
Wow.
Cute costume.
We bought it on Walmart.com. We picked it up at the store the same day. Who knew?
Check out Walmart's Savings Catcher app. If it finds a lower advertised price, I automatically get the difference on an e-gift card. Who knew?
Do you guys always have rollbacks? Yep. Huh. Who knew? I knew. Because yeah.
More ways to shop, more ways to save. Your way. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Up until now, there's always been hope that it would stop, it would change direction.
And that hope slowly fading away for the families living in the path of the lava flowing into a Hawaiian town. The mass of 2,000-degree molten lava is now within dozens of yards from homes in Pahoa. And the people who live there in Hawaii can only watch and wait. This story has been developing since June when the Kilauea volcano erupted and the lava started on this unusual path toward the town. NBC's Hallie Jackson is there with the latest on this slow motion disaster. Seem to be having some difficulties here with the video. That is some wind from Oregon. We can, if we can get that story to you, we will do our best to get that for you here on Weather Center Live. Again, the lava slowly moving toward Paoa. And let's go now, I believe we do have that story, to NBC's Hallie Jackson with that story.
This is the first big casualty of the Paoa lava flow. The first structure burned, but it won't be the last, as this 2,000-degree molten river oozes over town. It's been on its way for weeks since a volcanic eruption in June. Now, finally here, and people preparing to lose their homes are preparing for closure.
A lot of the memorabilia is all packed away.
So you will actually allow these folks to watch their home burn?
Yes, an opportunity for them to go through a grieving process with losing what in some cases maybe generations have gone through homes.
And for the youngest generation here, a new school.
We've been preparing for it, so unfortunate, but we're ready.
At night, the lava's red glow, an ominous presence, one the Lee family can see from their yard.
5 generations in this house?
Their house may be next, and they're doing everything they can to divert the flow, bulldozing a massive berm in their backyard, made of rocks, built on prayers.
Do you think it'll work?
It might. We're hoping.
Hope will not stop what's coming. The lava that could cross the area's main highway any day now. And while officials are building out alternate routes, Shane Turpin's so worried about the flow, he's moving his tour business closer to the town of Hilo, just in case he ends up on the wrong side of the lava.
There's going to be no way to get tourists and locals or anybody that wants to go out on our boats or on a hiking tour out to this area.
A way of life under fire, a red-hot river unrelenting. Hallie Jackson, NBC News, Paoa, Hawaii.
There are experts dedicated to tracking lava, much like scientists who study storms. Tonight on the Weather Channel, why it's such an important mission. Here's a peek at what they do.
This huge plume isn't just a draw for tourists. For Jeff, it's a chance to look into the guts of the volcano, like a doctor studying a patient.
When magma comes up, there are gases that are trapped in it. And as the magma gets closer to the surface, those gases can actually bubble out. You could kind of think about a big gas bubble coming out of this patient being analogous to, say, a burp. And we're actually able to measure not only the chemical nature of that burp, but also how much burp there is. By analyzing that burst of gas, we know what was going on down inside the volcano at that point.
But unlike most patients, this one is extremely toxic and very unpredictable.
Lava Chasers tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And now let's continue our top 5 video countdown with a look at the number 4 video of the day. And this is a look from Greece, and on the horizon, a water spout. We're going to have the top 3 videos coming up here on Weather Center Live. And after tonight's rain sweeps through the east, a shot of cold air is on the way. We're going to take a look at the cold stretch, the 7-day forecast, and the latest here in Hawaii.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
Be prepared for weather-related emergencies. Maglite flashlights. Turn your light on, America.
She inspires you. No question about that. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
It's Chevy Truck Month, time when truck guys can depend on great offers on the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Chevy Silverado, from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. It's Truck Month. Trade up to this Silverado Crew Cab LT All-Star Edition for a total value of $8,500. It's Truck Month. See your local Chevy dealer today.
You have the right to remain silent.
Dun-dun. Nailed it.
And if you can't afford an attorney,
you know I ain't got no shirt to wear.
One of these people will be appointed for you.
The blouse makes it weird.
When you told me about this Candy Crush game, at first I thought, so what? But now I can't stop playing.
That's not how it works.
I mean, it's so simple. It's like my car insurance. I save 15% in 15 minutes.
Well, Esurance could have saved you money in half that time.
3 in a row. Sweet.
15 minutes for a quote isn't so sweet.
Level 2.
Start with a quote from Esurance and you can save money on car insurance in half the time. Welcome to the modern world. Esurance, backed by Allstate. Click or call.
When you get a Honda Accord or Accord Hybrid, you get more. You get award-winning rides to new adventures. A button to help you get to all the places you want to go using a little less gas. And with the Accord Hybrid, you'll go even farther, more efficiently. So start something special today with great deals on the Honda Accord or Accord Hybrid. Now at your local Honda dealer.
6603. For a free brochure, call 1-800-571-6603.
3 nights of weather. You shouldn't watch alone.
What was that?
Our Halloween marathon, Wicked in the Weather, starting tomorrow at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 82. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And welcome back, everyone. It's 20 after the hour. It's time for a tropical update. And we're going to have a full tropical update with Jim Cantori coming up at 10 till the hour. But here's a preview of what we're going to be talking about. Invest 93E, yes, another one. Here in the Eastern Pacific, we'll be to the T-storm if this develops into a tropical storm. Also, we're looking at remnants of Hannah. Why are we talking about this one? Well, because the remnant circulation has moved back out into the water, where water temperatures are in the mid-80s. We'll talk about what may happen with that. We also have Invest 95L. Here we are getting towards November, and we've got a pretty active tropics right now. So Invest 95L just to the east of the Virgin Islands, and we'll talk about what kind of a chance that one has in just a moment. But here we are, the remnants of Hannah. This is Invest 96L. The winds are at 35 miles per hour. There's circulation just offshore, and it looks like a thunderstorm trying to develop just to the west, but it doesn't have much of a window to do anything because the forecast is for this to move right into Belize by tomorrow morning. So even if it would develop in anything, which right now it doesn't look like it's going to, it would move inland and be done. So a 20% chance of this developing into anything at all. What it's going to do, though, is bring some more heavy rain to Belize and to Honduras. Also looking here at the high-res satellite to the east of Puerto Rico, an area of low pressure or circulation actually just right in this area, right in here, just to the east of the Virgin Islands. Now, there are some thunderstorms, especially east of the circulation, interacting right now what we call an upper-level trough. You can actually see the circulation right in here. But it's going to be fighting some drier air to the north, but also some hostile upper-level winds to the northwest of it, some stronger winds here. So this does not have much of a chance to develop, maybe more than the remnants of Hannah, and it looks like 95L. 35-mile-per-hour winds, pressure 1,010 millibars, has a 40% chance. But this will be swept away as an upper-level trough, and that strong storm system in the east moves it to the east here coming up this weekend. So that's the good news. Of course, we'll keep an eye on this for folks here in Honduras. All right, we're going to talk more about what's happening here in the Eastern Pacific at 10 till the hour, Jim. But let's talk about what's going on this Friday. Chris.
That's right. A lot of people getting ready to celebrate Halloween. So meteorologist Mark Elliott, he went out to ask people to give us their scariest weather sound.
A lot of people are scared of weather and scared of the sounds that weather can make.
Yes.
What? Yes, meaning you?
I do not like it when you're just sitting on the couch eating your, Cheerios, and then all of a sudden thunder just goes crazy and lightning's going all out your window.
People love getting scared on Halloween. If we were to order up some scary weather, what would it be?
A howling type of wind. It's like a but a high pitch. I really can't do it that well.
I can tell you're hungry.
You're like hungry.
Lunchtime. Oh, I mean wind. You want to give us your best thunder impression?
Okay.
Boom. A lot of people are scared of weather sounds. What's the scariest weather sound you can make? Any other scary sounds you can think of? How about fog? A sunny day. Hail. That one had some rhythm. Give us some thunder.
Crack-a-thoom thing that happens. You get that crack and then the big, deep rumble that comes throughout the house.
Is there a weather sound that scares you?
Thunder.
How's that go?
Boom. Oh, you want me to get real loud?
I want you to get loud.
It's like crash, boom, bang.
Bring the thunder.
Crash, boom, bang.
Boom goes the thunder. Now we're back to the top 5 video countdown. Our number 3 video along the Pacific coast in Oregon. Winds hammering the coast at times, around 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's some sea foam being blown and swirled around. Some of the mounds of the foam about 2 feet deep. And the latest storm to roll into the Pacific, or low in from the Pacific, bringing some more rain into the Pacific Northwest by Thursday. We're going to let you know what's in store for the West Coast, all the way to the East Coast and everywhere in between. Coming up next, or in a little bit, rather, in the 7-day forecast.
This program brought to you by Hershey Spreads. The possibilities are delicious.
Hershey's Spreads. Bring the delicious taste of Hershey's chocolate to anything. Everything. With Hershey's Spreads, the possibilities are delicious.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
Ring, ring.
Progresso.
Used to people have my kids loving vegetables.
Well, vegetables taste better in our savory broth. Vegetables?
No, soup.
Oh, soup.
Loaded with vegetables, packed with taste.
Thought it'd be bigger.
There's nothing I can't reach in my Subaru.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
There once was a hungry road that ate up tires, wearing down the tread and wearing out safety, leaving worried drivers with no choice but to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything, putting those drivers back on the road with safety that lasts. Find the right tire for you at MichelinMan.com. Michelin, a better way forward.
Experience all the real possibilities of connecting with family and friends. RealPad from AARP is now your easy way to share, enjoy, play, and celebrate. It's the tablet with free unlimited live help whenever you need it.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Happy anniversary.
Cherish moments like these with RealPad. Available at aarprealpad.org and at Walmart.
It's a brand new day. I'm gonna make a stand.
American Laser Skincare has redefined the laser hair removal experience. Faster, fewer treatments, clinically proven results. For value that you can count on, trust the laser skincare leader with over 12 million treatments performed. Get huge savings up to 75% off. Call 877-8-LASER-1 today. American Laser Skincare. Love what's looking back at you.
You have the right to remain silent.
Dun-dun. Nailed it.
And if you can't afford an attorney,
You know I ain't got no shirt to wear.
one of these people will be appointed for you.
The blouse makes it weird.
No. Good luck. Benched, a new comedy series, premieres tonight at 10:30 on USA.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 82. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Of weather. You shouldn't watch alone.
What was that?
Our Halloween marathon, Wicked in the Weather, starting tomorrow at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Breaking now on Weather Center Live, an explosion over the launch pad tonight in Virginia. Take a look.
3 missions that bring Cygnus on its 3rd CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
The unmanned Antares rocket was trying to lift off from Wallops Island. That was at 6:22 Eastern time. But as you see here, explodes seconds after the launch. The rocket was going to take 5,000 pounds of supplies to the International Space Station. NASA says nobody was hurt during this incident. And it is the bottom of the hour on Weather Center Live. I'm Chris Warren. We want to go to our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. He's taking a look at the radar, analyzing what the explosion looked like on radar at the time.
Chris, our Doppler radars can not only track rain and snow and hail, but they can track debris like this one from this tragedy. Here it began at 6:27 p.m. just off the coast there of Wallops Island in Virginia, and over the next 20 minutes or so tracks off at about 30 miles per hour off toward the north and east. It spreads out, disperses, as we say, with the shifting winds. Let's go step by step here. Well, first I'll show you that we have sometimes this debris signature that we look at for tornadoes. We can see that here. The blue, that is all down in that tumbling, is tumbling type of debris that you've seen in some of that video. Now I'll track this forward in time, 5 minutes at a time. You see the debris signature there getting a little bit higher and higher and wider and wider. And at this point, I've tracked it up into, and I've taken a slice through it at that point so we can see how high up the debris was getting. It started up only going about 5,000 feet high, but by this time it is spread upwards a little bit. It's spreading out horizontally, and some of that was getting up to around the 10,000 foot level. So that is the Doppler radar markings of a tragedy that's occurred on Wallops Island, Virginia this afternoon. A lot of that burning fuel came back down to the launch pad. Hope everyone there is safe. Chris?
Dr. Forbes, thank you. As we look there at the explosion on the right-hand side of your screen again, this happening earlier today at 6:22. Back to our other big story we're following here on Weather Center Live. That's going to be a big change in the temperatures. Right now, you see a lot of orange and yellow in the northeast. Those are the warmer temperatures. 66 degrees right now in New York, 60s and 70s in the south. But the blues and the greens will be moving in, much cooler air heading throughout more of the U.S., including the Great Lakes in the northeast. We're going to keep an eye on that for the Halloween forecast. We're expecting some of the first flakes of the season as well, and that could impact parts of the Great Lakes and the northeast. The question is, was it going to look anything like it did in October of 2011? In just a minute, we're going to go in depth with Storm Tracker Jim Cantore on what we know and what we're still working to find out. But we want to start right now with a big part of the snowy story, if there will be one. And that's one of the main ingredients, cold air. Here's meteorologist Kim Cunningham.
And that's one thing we know for sure, Chris. It is going to get cold, and we're going to see some big temperature changes for us, where we had temperatures in the 70s, 80s, even 90 yesterday in Savannah. We're not going to see that this weekend for sure. But we're in October. We're getting into November, still the transition season. We will warm up. But here in New York, we're going to start out Friday at 56 degrees. The second cold front comes through, and we're going to see temperatures dropping to the 40s on Saturday, 45 here on Sunday. Now, lows will be in the 30s this weekend here in New York City if you have plans to head there. So here's a look this weekend for the Northeast. Buffalo, 46 degrees. Look at the 60s going bye-bye in many areas. 52 in Washington, D.C. by Saturday. Boston at 49. A big question mark. What's going to happen in Boston this weekend? Jim's going to talk more about that. 45 here in New York on Sunday. Now, after this, we will see temperatures getting back to average early next week. So hang in there. Nashville tomorrow, 67 degrees. Enjoy. That's what we love October. We can get temperatures like this. 63 on Thursday, 58 by Friday. So it's going to be a cold Halloween night for you guys. In the southeast, the same idea. Friday doesn't look bad. Okay, we're going to be in the upper 60s in Atlanta. But I tell you what, before midnight, the colder air is going to get in there, and we're going to see temperatures dropping in the 30s overnight. Saturday morning is going to be windy. Be ready for a blustery weekend, 62 on Sunday. So we do recover as we get into Sunday with more sunshine in the forecast. Cincinnati, how about 51 by Sunday? But boy, to get there, we're going to see temperatures in the 40s this weekend. Then we're going to see overnight lows dropping in the 20s. The coldest air of the season to come here. It is going to be cold. Not too bad for the Bengals playing at home, though, on Sunday, the 50s here. Indianapolis, 45 on Friday. Cleveland here on Saturday, 41 degrees. And then here on Sunday, as the Browns are playing at home, temperatures there will be getting into the mid-40s, but still, that's still 9 degrees below the average. Chris?
Kim, thank you very much. Storm Tracker Jim Cantore here in the lab, and we know you need the two ingredients, Jim. You need that cold air to be around the same time the moisture's in place.
We do, and then we could get some snow. This is time of the year where we can get these little snowstorms to crank up, and I think we need to get to that cold air in this case. In other words, we need elevation to get us up to that cold air, and so that may be a player for the Appalachians. The good news is, Chris, all the models can say, hey, here's the disturbance. We can see it on the satellite. We can teleconnect with this. Now I need you to do your due diligence and model this out for me and tell me where it's going to go. So, you know, here you can see the height lines in through here. This is the trough. This is the lift. All right, that's the lifting part of the trough. Let's see what the models do with this in time. This is, I believe, the European analysis. But the bottom line is, I mean, just digging, just carving out this huge trough of low pressure in through here. The big problem is, if you look at the axis of this trough, I mean, that sucker's way out here. Okay, so all the energy that's going to go into developing low pressure is going to be way out and through here. So that low is going to do one of two things. It's going to go this way, as the GFS says, or as the European says, it's going to go this way. And that's going to make all the difference in the world, especially with what happens eventually in New England and in the higher elevations. I think the energy alone also needs to put the Appalachians on concern, because elevation, the cold air is already there, strong dynamics, we got some moisture from the Great Lakes, boom, they're in play, plus the initial cold air and the cold air pocket itself is going to be enough enough to around and away from the Great Lakes, because they're going to still be warm, give us a shot at snow. So not everybody's going to get it, but there will be some people that get it. So here's the European model. Everybody gets, again, the shot at this cold air coming on down. We're going to know this is a big cold front, but the high staying west of the Appalachians and kind of dropping down through the Carolinas. It's void. Notice it's void in the east. So we're going to have to wait till this low can pull it down. And once it does that, it's already off toward Nova Scotia. But that doesn't mean Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont don't have a chance of getting walloped here. But I don't think it's going to be Boston, New York. Maybe as the upper support goes by, remember the trough axis is way back here. As that goes overhead, maybe a few novelty flurries for New York and Boston, but I don't think this is a big deal for them right now.
Right. We're talking about this weekend.
I'm giving you the forecast from what I see right now. Here's the American model. Same physics here, okay, for the most part. They drop the high to the west of the Great Lakes. We're still east of the Appalachians, void of any kind of warm air. Here's the upper low. So notice they actually produce precip with the upper low. I think the upper elevations will be in play here, even though that doesn't say 32 degrees. So there may be some snow Saturday morning over the higher terrain in West Virginia, Western North Carolina, and Western Virginia. But look at how much farther east that low is. That's way off the coast. That takes New England out of the picture completely and just pretty much allows the cold air to spill in behind it. So a big difference in what these models do in through here. And the other thing is, depending on where we are, and I think this pretty much includes everybody that's in the snow factor, so New England, the central Appalachians, and even near the Great Lakes, you've still got a tremendous leaf canopy.
And that's bad news if we get snow.
That's bad news, because that's going to catch the wet snow. Those leaves aren't going to have any heat in them anymore, because they're essentially just sitting there waiting to fall off. So I think that's going to add to the problems, especially if this is a heavy wet snow. I don't think it's going to be enough to cause major problems, with the exception of maybe northern New England. So if the European is right, there will be enough abundant snowfall there to cause some problems. So something to watch for sure.
And we still have days to fine-tune it and figure it out completely.
Plus, who doesn't want to have a white Halloween? Right?
Somebody out there doesn't want to have a white Halloween.
I know.
Let's take a look right now, Jim. See this video here? It's number 2 on our countdown. Look at this. This is in New Mexico, west on I-40 on the way to Albuquerque. See the rain shaft, possibly Virga? Looks like some of it might be reaching the ground. And then some lightning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, awesome.
Pretty cool shot.
Looks like it's a little windy, too. So that whole thing kind of unloaded, but just not enough moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere.
Get all the way down.
Yeah.
All right, we had the 7-day forecast and the number 1 video coming up.
I was counting.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 82. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's Monday, a brand new start with CenturyLink's visionary cloud infrastructure and custom communication solutions. Your business is more reliable, secure, and agile. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Premium for the year. Hi, sorry, just want to say I bundled home and auto with State Farm, saved $760. Love this guy. So rude.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Savings worth talking about. State Farm.
Introducing York Minis. A bite-sized new way to enjoy the full-size sensation of peppermint and rich dark chocolate. New York Minis. Get the sensation.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going. get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
I'm telling you, Walmart ships and delivers millions of items for free.
Free?
Oh, no, right?
Wow.
Cute costume.
We bought it on Walmart.com. We picked it up at the store the same day. Who knew?
Check out Walmart's Savings Catcher app. If it finds a lower advertised price, I automatically get the difference on an e-gift card. Who knew?
Do you guys always have rollbacks? Yep. Huh. Who knew? I knew. Because this, yeah.
More ways to shop, more ways to save. Your way. Save money, live better. Walmart.
You know how she keeps it interesting after all these years? She mixes it up.
With Nice and Easy, you can shift a shade with confidence and still look like your most amazing you. Go warmer, bolder, stronger, even bolder with our broadest spectrum of natural-looking shades.
You know what I love? Things never get boring. She always keeps me guessing.
Go ahead, mix it up, spice it up, shift a shade with Nice and Easy.
Right, these should be good. Oh, well, that didn't work. Henry? Gorilla. It never works. Gorilla Super Glue. Of course.
Other super glues get brittle and break. Gorilla Super Glue's rubber-toughened formula holds even after repeated drops and bumps.
Oh, thanks. You know, this reminds me of the time, and you're gone.
Gorilla Super Glue for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
First, the cookie at check-in. Then, a little weekend to remember. Join us for the celebration package with sparkling wine, breakfast, and a late checkout. DoubleTree by Hilton, where the little things mean everything.
Time to recap our top 5 video countdown so far. Number 5, lava slowly creeping towards homes in Hawaii. Number 4, a water spout off the coast of Greece. Number 3, the strong winds in Oregon. Sometimes open up some of that sea foam and pushing people around. Number 2, thunderstorm near Albuquerque, New Mexico with some lightning as well. And right now, Jim and Kim and Jim are here to talk about some of those videos. Guys, what stands out to you? One of those videos.
I like the wind in Oregon. I just, people don't realize how windy it can get there with some of these storms that come in there. It's still windy there right now, and how it really can kick up the sea foam. I mean, Chris, you're from that area.
Now that's a lot better than what
amazing?
you showed up there. That's much more picturesque, obviously.
Right. That really tells you.
You can get like feet of that stuff. It's amazing how much sea foam you can kick up.
And I mean, those storms coming off of the Pacific, you have the big beaches, and you get some of there's a coast range there. So you get some of the higher elevations in the Oregon coast.
You know what's funny is if that was happening on the East Coast, we'd be live. Right.
Out
west, they're like, come on.
This happens all the time.
Kid stuff.
But another thing, though, a big difference between the West and the East is it's much more populated.
True.
In the East.
Yeah, because nobody really lives along the coast.
You have a lot of cliffs in the West too, so they protect. People don't build right on.
Yeah, you go inland quite a bit, and the winds can go down markedly.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Anything else stand out to you?
I had you taken for a lava girl. I thought that lava would be kind of.
We did that yesterday.
Oh, all right.
We covered Jimmy.
I knew it.
That's why I was like, people are probably, we've been covering that so much. I thought, let's do something different. That was cool, though.
The dry microburst.
Yeah.
You saw the Virga.
Yes,
people don't realize, though, underneath that, Chris, when you see the Virga, you don't see much happening, but here's this, wind coming out because you got the rain and the rain core kind of collapsing out of that thing, and down below, sometimes you get a big piece of dust kicking up, and you see that a lot, obviously, in the Southwest.
Yeah,
and this
planes
time of year,
don't
for
like
sure.
this. Planes don't like flying.
No, they don't. No, because you can't really see it until you're underneath one of the curls.
Right. Okay, that was our number 2 video. Let's take a look at the number 1 video of the day. And here it is. More lava, this time in Iceland.
Yeah, this time in Iceland, of all places.
Wow.
This has been active since the end of August.
But do we know if this is threatening anybody? That I don't know.
I don't think it is, actually. What they're worried about is the blasts and the size of the blasts, potentially getting ash up into the plain zones, because the planes go from America to Europe. Right. And you can see Iceland. You can wave at Iceland outside the window, so it's too close.
Very evident, though. Gosh, interesting. That one's going on, and we have the other one going on in Hawaii. So very active.
Melting from the inside out, I guess.
Yeah, very active. A lot of smoke, too. That could be dangerous.
You have more people on the planet, more cameras on the planet, and you get some cool video, cool shots.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think it's time to take a look at the 7-day forecast. Kim,
Yeah, I
want to
hear her take on the snow.
Oh, really?
Well, of course I do.
Interesting, Jim. All right, here we go. Can I actually go different than what we're forecasting?
By all means, absolutely.
I'm going to do that. I like these guys in the Global Forecast Center. So anyway, all right, let's go ahead and talk about the next 7 days.
I like them too, so we'll try and keep the same message.
We're going to keep the same message going, and actually mine isn't really different too much from theirs. Again, it's still a couple days away. It's kind of hard to figure this one out just yet, especially when the two models are showing something a little bit different. So it's like, which model's handling it better is kind of what we have to go with. All right, tomorrow we're looking at the first front to come through, and this is going to be the one to bring the cooler air with it, but it's really the second blast that we're going to see this weekend coming in. So the story is fronts coming through the east, but also storms still continuing to come to the Pacific Northwest. Now Thursday, we're starting to see signs of the second blast. So already we've kind of cooled us down a little bit in the east, not much until the second one comes through. So it looks like by Friday, as this begins to dig in, temperatures will be warm enough still that we're going to see mainly rain starting out. So Halloween is going to be wet for many of us. Maybe a rain-snow mix here into Michigan. But again, depending on which model you're going with, I'm going to be safe with this one. It depends. It's really what we're going to get. As the front comes through, we're going to see rain coming in, depending on how close the low is going to track. So as it gets here off to the East Coast, we're going to see rain coming in, 48 New York City, Boston. Looking at rain on Saturday. Behind it in the cold air, that's where we're going to see the rain-snow mix. And then by Sunday, especially anywhere from probably the Cape all the way up to Maine is where we're going to see the wind. We're going to see maybe some snow mixing in there. Again, all depending on where this low tracks. And then by Monday, believe it or not, we're going to start to warm up already in advance of this system. So rain pushes east. We'll see that coming into the Ohio Valley. Again, the coldest blast is coming this weekend. Then we're going to see rain with the next storm system. Again, this is the big cold blast that's coming through, guys. So this will be it this weekend. And then we're back to more typical temperatures as we get into November.
And we'll see what happens in Chicago with Nick Wallenda on Sunday nights.
You'll be covering that.
A little bit of a south wind there as we get the other side of the high pressure system.
True.
And Jamie, the tropical update coming up next. What are you watching?
We are watching a system in the Arabian Sea, believe it or not.
Strong one.
Nilofer.
Joe and Max, thanks for inspiring me to be as good as you think I am.
This holiday season, give thanks to the pets who inspire you. At PetSmart, save up to $5 on select Purina Pro Plan dry pet food. PetSmart.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 82. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
There's confidence. Then there's trusting your vehicle maintenance to Ford Service confidence. Our expertise, technology, and high-quality parts mean your peace of mind. It's no wonder last year we sold over 3 million tires. And during the big tire event, get up to $140 in mail-in rebates on 4 select tires.
Thought I told you to stay off our turf.
And what would you know about turf, Skipper?
Let's end this here and now. Let's dance.
Hello there. Progressive covers boats and RVs, okay? Plenty of policies to go around.
At Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, we can quickly take care of any plumbing need.
From broken water heaters to shower fixtures and everything in between. Our trained and trusted experts are focused entirely on plumbing, so we can get you back to your life faster.
You're right on time.
Call today and get a diagnostic and evaluation service call for only $37.
If there is any delay, it's you we pay.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Find out. There's no obligation, and you can receive a decision in minutes. Visit us online at ondeck.com today.
3 nights of weather. You shouldn't watch alone.
What was that?
Our Halloween marathon, Wicked in the Weather, starting tomorrow at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Tropical update time with Storm Tracker Jim Cantore. Specs are ready here in the lab.
All dusted off. I got some powder on my forehead. As you can see, I'm shiny challenged. So with the powder came the powder on the lenses. Anyway, we're done. This Nilofer, tremendous storm here in the Arabian Sea. 3rd strongest on record, Chris, believe it or not. And you kind of look at this thing and you say, well, what an interesting eye. It's got all these different colors in it. And think about this as like a playing field. There are the expensive seats down there right on the field. And then up here, here's the upper deck. All right. So we always talk about the stadium effect. And so you're kind of looking down inside it. And on the visible imagery, you can really see that. And of course, here's the strongest part of the hurricane right here in what we call the central dense overcast. That's where all the action comes into play. This is what we call a VERS satellite. All right. Don't ask me what that stands for, because I can't tell you, but I just know it's the VERS satellite. But one of the things that stands out is the definition. I mean, just all the incredible resolution on this thing. And you'll notice these little fingers that are coming out from the center here. These are called cross-banded cirrus. That's usually a sign of a developing system. All right, and that's what it was. It was 140 miles per hour at one point, now sitting at about 130 miles per hour. And it's going to continue to weaken. That's a good thing because, you know, it's a Category 4 equivalent. Even though we call them tropical cyclones in the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean, this is essentially what we call a Cat 4 major hurricane in the Atlantic Basin. The atmosphere giving us a little hint at which way this is going to go. Already, there it is at 130, moving to the north at 12. And already, especially from the high-resolution satellite imagery we look off camera at, it's already starting to weaken a little bit. So, what happens by the time we get to Friday night in Pakistan or northwest India? It's a weakening system. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have any moisture left with it. So it could produce some pretty heavy rain there. And that's what we'll be watching out for in Pakistan and northwest India. Now, into our neck of the woods. Invest 95L. That has a pretty high chance, about 30% chance of developing here over the next 48 hours or 120 hours. This is, believe it or not, the remnants of Hannah. Also a new Invest number. But just because it has a new Invest number doesn't mean it won't be Hannah again if it were developed, which is a low chance, now 10%. And here's Invest 93E, which has now a 100% chance of developing.
It's just a matter of time before it gets its name.
It is, and that will be Trudy. Okay, we think that's going to be Trudy in time, but it's not going to be a threat to land, so that's the good news. What's happened today out here with our first wave? Well, the trough is still in place, but it's creating a high-pressure system aloft. The winds in through here are still pretty strong, so we have what we call wind shear still on the western side of it, but look at all the convection. A lot of deep convection going on, and that's kind of pushing the thunderstorms off to the top. So here's that trough. You can kind of trace the steering lines here. Winds are still a little bit strong over the top of this. So my thinking is that southerly shear is still taking hold here and probably will be with us for another few hours or so, but then it may weaken tomorrow. Then this is the surface. So I just showed you the upper air way up in the atmosphere. Now we're down near here to the surface. And if you were to kind of trace this, let's do the red, white. So here's red right here, kind of showing you a little kink in the streamlines. There's our wave right there, and here's all the thunderstorms on the east side. And this is what you'll watch for. You'll watch for stuff to develop on the east side and through here, and that's what we may see. But right now there's no closed isobars. There's nothing closed here. So this is what we call an open wave moving in the easterly flow across the tropics. So Possibility of development, 30% now, lowered from 40% over the next 5 days from the Hurricane Center. And the models take this all off toward the west. So some unsettled weather, some thunderstorms potentially near Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We'll keep an eye on it for Bermuda, but I think most of the guidance suggests it stays east. And with that big cold front and storm coming across the eastern part of the country with the cold blast, it keeps it off the coast.
No chance of getting to the U.S.
No chance of getting to the U.S. Yeah. No, not at all. And I don't even think Bermuda's in play with this at all. So here's the satellite. You can see the pictures going down. Interesting. There's a swirl.
A couple of them.
Yeah, there's a swirl. I'm actually wondering which one was Hannah. Either way, 10% chance. It's very close to land. This is probably going to bury itself here. This is probably going to bury itself here. But, you know, stranger things have happened. Some of the weirdest steering of the season happens this time of the year, all right? And that's where we run into problems. But we can trace this back to Hannah, the old Invest 96 coming down, coming off the coast of Nicaragua. All of a sudden, boom, we got Tropical Storm Hannah, to my surprise, on Saturday morning. And then it's kind of moved inland, and now it's kind of sitting up in here, just kind of wandering, you know, making its way back toward Belize. So you can get some wild loop-the-loops with these things this time of the year. Now it is Invest 96L. As I mentioned, if it does develop, which a 10% chance of doing, it will be Hannah again because we can trace the feature. All right, what is going to be Trudy in the Pacific? I got the models here first. Again, this is taking it pretty much inland, but look at that one model. It kind of takes it west and then zips it off toward the northeast. Possible. Very nice circulation here. You can see it kind of closed off. We got some banding features coming into this from all angles. This will eventually be Trudy. And if you remember a couple of months ago, Chris, Sarah actually said we would get to Vance in the Eastern Pacific. The next name after Trudy is Vance. So
looking likely, Sarah.
Somebody's going to win a big bet if we get there, Sarah. 100% development, so says the Hurricane Center of 93L. The good news is, stays away from land.
All right, that is some good news. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori, thank you very much.
You got it, buddy.
Certainly appreciate it. And Kim Cunningham is going to be back in just about a minute. She's going to take a look at the areas that we're watching through the course of this evening for the threat of severe weather. That's coming up next on Weather Center Live.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under fair skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds, otherwise generally clear. Low 71. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 82. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, a mostly clear sky. Low 67. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And it's time for one more thing, and stay tuned because Lava Chasers is going to start here in just a minute. But let's go ahead and talk about what's happening right now here in the country, where we have a cold front pushing east. It's bringing with it some rain. It is rain right now, all the way from New York all the way into the south. You can see right along the New York Thruway we have some showers. So if you're traveling from Buffalo to Rochester over to Syracuse, you're going to hit some of these showers here tonight. No severe weather expected with this front. That's the good news. Pittsburgh, some showers just off to your west. Wheeling as well, moving very quickly to the northeast. And here through Kentucky, sporadic showers if you're traveling Interstate 75 here tonight. Again, we're not expecting severe weather with this. A few thunderstorms are be coming into the Nashville area as we speak. So you can expect maybe some heavy downpours for a few minutes, and then it'll move on. Little Rock, everything's east of you right now. The front just about coming through. We're going to take a look at all the lightning we're seeing just east of you. So this is where some of those thunderstorms are tonight. All right, stay with us. Lava Chaser starting here in just a couple of minutes.
In this episode of Lava Chasers, a pair of intrepid photographers search for fresh lava.
You can already smell your shoes melting a little bit.
Old underground magma tunnels prove a hazard for workmen.
There have been people killed falling into huge tubes.
And a bizarre ancient ritual in praise of the volcano god is being brought back to life.
You don't want something like that impaling your body.
Volcanoes are planet Earth's most powerful force. Breathtakingly beautiful, yet devastatingly deadly. Shaking the world, changing the weather, and burning the land. But for some, lava's lure is irresistible. Instead of running, there are those who seek out close encounters with Hawaii's molten rock. These intrepid few are the lava chasers. Nestling in the middle of the Pacific Ocean is the island chain of Hawaii. The islands boast 5 active volcanoes, one of which, Kilauea, has been spewing fire and molten rock continuously for the last 30 years, attracting lava lovers from around the world.
I photograph the active flows. No matter where they are, I hike there.
Brian Lowry is a Hawaii-based photographer who has devoted his career to capturing stunning shots of molten lava. Originally from Michigan, 52-year-old Brian has been on an extraordinary life journey.